Alright guys, welcome back to God of War 2. Last we met in the God of War 2, we just arrived at the Bog of the Forgotten, and we are actually going to continue into the Bog, because there is actually a bit of a reason that we're here. I mean, we are here to, again, we are continuing our quest for the Sisters of Fate and all that kind of stuff, but the reason we're here is, for one, we need a way. There is a door. I didn't show the door, but there's a door that fires a fireball at you, and we need to be able to get past it. And well, the upgrade to get past it is through this. This is actually by the way, this is a pretty simple puzzle. Basically, what you're doing is you're moving the gear closer to the next one. But the problem is that there will be enemies spawning out of the water or whatever that shit is. I don't know, chocolate milk. I don't fucking know. And they'll try to get you off of it. But obviously, you can't jump in the water or whatever it is. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So my best suggestion is turn the wheel for a bit, and then when the enemies look like they're about to attack you, let go of the wheel for a second, and then let go of a Kratos' rage, and that'll stun them long enough just so you can get just so you can keep running, and then get the gear close, and then get over, and there you go. Because I believe they are infinitely respawning until you get past the section. I do not know. And then here we have a bit of a mini boss here. There is apparently like a trick you can do to where the boss this thing will never hit you. At least for I don't remember what it was. But as you can see, I'm just doing the not giving a fuck method. I usually do this for the fire minotaurs or whatever you want to call them, because there's at least what, 3 of these fuckers, I want to say. I can't remember. One of them was actually a major pain in the ass in this Let's Play, and that was just because I forgot what to do in that scenario. But this section. But yeah, that first section, I have seen other Let's Plays of God of War 2, and every single time I have seen it, they always make that section out to be like the biggest pain in the ass. I have never had a problem with that section. Even my first playthrough, I never had a problem with that section because of the strategy I mentioned. I don't know if it's, YouTube personalities just being stupid for the sake of getting clicks or whatever. Well, that's just... But like, every time I see that section in a Let's Play, they always struggle with it and die at least 3 times before they get an idea of what to do. Or they do, like, the worst method possible for that section. And I know I'm not perfect when it comes to this channel. I know I've made some boneheaded mistakes when it comes to stupid I know I'm pretty sure I've made a few during this Let's Play. Especially, my problem with my videos is I just overthink shit sometimes. Like, my brain kind of shuts off and I forget how to do certain shit out of nowhere. Or I overthink the most simple shit because I'm like, oh, this is probably a complicated thing, and I don't know why I overthink it. Because I know I did that. I did that a couple times in Assassin's Creed 3, if I remember correctly. I know I did it in this Let's Play a few times. And that's just because usually I don't usually do test playthroughs for a lot of the games I play, because I don't want to get burnt out of that game. I think the only time I have done a full test playthrough of a game was something like Metroid Zero Mission, and that was because I knocked it out in like 2 hours, or something around that. I had no problem just playing it twice to get an idea of what to do, or the best way to approach it. I was considering doing a test playthrough of this game before recording, because I just kind of wanted to get an idea. I just wanted to remember what to do in certain places, but I also was like, I don't want to do that considering that I'm going to be marathoning through this game and God of War 3. Like, once I finish this game, I'm going straight to God of War 3. So I didn't want to do that because then I'd be basically doing 2 playthroughs of God of War 2 and then a playthrough of God of War 3, because I'm definitely not doing a test playthrough of 3, because 3 is the easiest of the Greek saga. Like, I don't have any problems going back to 3, and that's just because 3 is so, compared to 1, 2, and I would say the only other Greek saga game that I genuinely ever have any struggles with is Ascension, and that is because I've probably only done like 2 full playthroughs of that game. And I don't know why I have such disdain for Ascension in particular, because that is the one God of War game that, like, every time I've seen it, I've always just had nothing nice to say about it. But I don't hate it. Like, it's not like I hate the game with a passion or anything like that. It's not a bad game, but I think it just... I think it is... I don't know, actually, because every time I think about it, I never really have much nice to say about it, besides that, you know, it plays just like the other God of War Greek Saga games. I think it's because there's not really a variety of weapons like there are in this game or God of War 3. Because in God of War Ascension, the only weapons that Kratos really gets are, like, enhancements, are like different elements, like the Blades of Chaos imbued with certain elements. Like, that's the only upgrades that, like, those are the only weapons that Kratos really gets in Ascension that I can think of. And I'm not a big fan of that, because that means you're just basically getting the Blades of Chaos 4 times. But speaking, I almost forgot. I need to do my inevitable not talking about what's on the fucking screen tangent. Because at the time of this recording, Comic-Con is happening right now. And this is God of War related, trust me on that one. God of War Laufey officially has a release date. I forgot exactly what day it was. It was late I want to say it was like mid to late February. I'm overthinking this again. I think it was... February, it was like 18th, I want to say. I can't remember, but it was late February. But yeah. Oh. Press the R1 button.
God of War. Jason. That beast took him. All our men are dead. Jason has the fleece. You must save him. The fleece is the key to Medusa's temple.
Isn't Medusa dead? Did I miss something? Yeah, you can't jump with the body, dumbass. Yeah, but Medusa's dead, guys. Did you guys forget that? I feel like that was a screw up that they just never fix, but maybe they don't know. Maybe it's another thing that just, like, Kratos knows that he killed Medusa, but I mean, I hate to sound racist, but I mean, all the Gorgons do look exactly like Medusa. Well, one exception, but we'll see her later. Well, again, the temple could just, I mean, it could just be the name of the temple. But what was I saying about God of War Laufey? Laufey officially has a release date in late February, which means I got my prediction wrong, unfortunately, because what I thought was going to happen was that God of War Laufey was going to come out, like, at the end of next year. But then God of War, the God of War remakes were going to come out in between, like, before that, to kind of satiate anyone's appetite for a Kratos game, because I know a lot of people, when they found out that they were playing as a woman, oh god, in God of War Laufey, they flipped the fuck out and were wondering, well, what about Kratos? What is Kratos going to be playable in his own franchise? So I figured they would use the God of War remakes to sort of tide fans over and get them to shut the fuck up for 10 minutes. But I guess I was wrong, which I'm fine with. I mean, then again, it's very possible they could shadow drop the God of War remix for all we know. They could just shadow drop it in fucking December. I doubt they do that, though, considering that right now I want to say the God of War remakes are probably their biggest game right now, because they know how hype-inducing how much hype that would get, or how much hype it did get. because they saved that announcement for last in the state of play it was announced in. So they knew that it was that would be a big deal. And plus, fans have been demanding God of War remakes for well over a few years now. I want to say ever since 2018 came out, people were wanting God of War remakes. Because, I mean, after 2018 came out, Resident Evil started doing their remakes. And, you know, people were wanting, you know, that's kind of the thing about when a franchise gets a remake, you know, fans start looking into, well, this franchise is getting remakes. Why isn't my franchise getting remakes like that? I mean, that's just speculatory on my end, I know, but it's just, I don't remember when people started clamoring for a God of War 1 and God of War 1, 2, and 3 remake. I was always under the impression that 1 and 2 definitely could benefit from a remake. Excuse me. And I'm dead. I always say that God of War 1 and 2 would have benefited the most from a remake. 3, I still haven't really... I haven't entered the year where I think that 3 really deserves a remake. Because 3 still looks phenomenal to this day. And also, it just plays so well that I don't see the need in changing anything. That, I mean, really the only thing I would really make a big deal about changing is like adding some more story beats to sort of make things a little more interesting, especially with Kratos and Pandora's relationship in 3, because it's kind of one of those things that's like they really drive it home towards the end of the game, but like they sort of do it out of nowhere a little bit, in all honesty. I'll get into that more when we get to God of War 3 after this Let's Play. But I just want to, I was just saying, I just want to say that that's really the only thing I would like. I mean, they planned it this, I mean, obviously Kratos was going to I knew Kratos would attach himself to Pandora in such a way because, you know, he gets reminded of his daughter from her. Like, he has, like, flashbacks of his daughter. And that's another thing I would like to see is... I'm hoping that the God of War remakes kind of expand more about Kratos and his family's relationship before he kills them, obviously. I mean, the only thing that we really see... well, for one, we see a lot about Kratos and his daughter. But what about his wife? We never really get to see much about Kratos' wife. Because the only thing I can recall... is that, for one, Kratos did love his wife pretty well, because there's a later scene where he, like, literally calls her, where, you know, he expresses his love for her and stuff like that, and all, but, like, in God of War 1, the only thing that we got about Kratos' wife, was that she did not like the fact that he was so hell-bent on spreading the glory of Sparta. Even though, she made the comment that it was more for himself, as to why he was such a ruthless general. And that's another thing I would like to see, is more about Kratos pre-Ares, Blood Oath. And that's kind of why I really do wish that they did a God of War prequel before that. You know, I know that Sons of Sparta could be considered that, but I'm talking about, like, adult Kratos from the time he was in the Spartan army to about right before the events of Ascension. Like, that would be a really good... I feel like there's a lot you could tell there. Okay, I should probably get into what I just unlocked real quick. So we now have officially the most iconic accessory for the Greek mythology saga for God of War. I mean, despite the fact that it only lasts in this game and all of God of War 3, is the Golden Fleece. It is your parry. Yeah. So, yeah, technically we did have a parry last game, but it wasn't really good. This time, we have a really good parry. So, if you block right when an enemy is about to hit you with either a projectile or any sort of physical attack, as long as it's blockable, and you hit it with the proper timing, you'll hear that sound. That's the best way I can describe it. And when you do, you can repel the attack back to its sender, or and in some cases it's usually like a repel, it's just like a simple parry, but depending on the enemy, of course, Like, for example, if you use the Golden Fleece on the Gorgons, you get a QTE to where you can actually freeze them with their own I-beam, right, because they fucked up. But also, there's the physical version of the parry where, you know, Kratos just hits the ground really hard. The Golden Fleece is your best friend, and in all honesty, I try to use it when I can. I know I suck at blocking sometimes, but it is a really useful item. I know later in the game I use it a lot, because it's actually very viable. It's a really good parry. When you get the timing down, it is like the best parry ever. But it is one of the few upgrades that you keep from this game into God of War 3, even after you lose everything else. Because you keep this and the Icarus wings next part. But what was back to what I was talking about with Kratos and his origin story. But I would like either a game dedicated to that, where Kratos is, you know, before he started serving the gods. Because that's a pretty big time gap there. Like, I would like that from Sons of Sparta to, about God of War Ascension, or, right when Kratos signs his blood, or, hey, hell, do some of the gameplay, or do, like, when Kratos, sells his soul to Ares, and do, that's, like, the final sections of the game. Like, that's, like, the final sections of the game where you actually play through Kratos going through and destroying cities, and like the final boss fight is, or I would say final boss fight is Kratos killing his family. That'd be a really good way to end it, but I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know how they would do a final boss for that, but I mean, I'm sure they could muster something if they wanted to, but I don't know. I'm having hopes. And also, you know, there's a lot of time between the events of God of War Ascension and Chains of Olympus. I believe it's like a 10-year gap between those games, because I know God of War Chains of Olympus takes place right before the events of the first game. Or not right before, but like, I want to say a couple months before, or that's what they say, at least. That's what I heard. Because Chains of Olympus ends like in the same place that God of War 1 ends, where Kratos is dropped off on that on the suicide cliff, and you know, Athena and Helios basically rob him and take the upgrades from him. Bastards. Ghost of Sparta takes place right before this game, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, but you can't counter everything with the Golden Fleece, by the way. But they did announce another thing at the same time as the Laufey reveal, is that that there will be another Kratos starring game after Laufey releases. What that is, I don't think they've elaborated. They haven't said if it's a sequel to Ragnarok or a prequel or anything like that. They just said that Kratos is going to be the main character. And I see it being a sequel to Ragnarok. The question is how well, like, what are they gonna do with that? Because with how Ragnarok ended, there's not really any sort of way to... There's not really any sort of threat to the Norse mythology. And I know that the running thing is that Kratos is just gonna move to another pantheon, and I'm not going to say fuck shit up, because he doesn't actually do that in the Norse mythology. Not intentionally, anyway. Because that was one thing that, like, I kind of did... I do like the fact that God of War 2018 and Ragnarok shied away from was, you know, everyone, whenever God of War 3 was announced and that they were exploring the ideas of Kratos moving to other pantheons, you know, I like the idea that it was, like, everyone was, like, thinking, like, oh, Kratos was gonna snap again and kill every god for for vengeance. I actually really like the fact that Kratos doesn't do that in the Norse games. I really like that. You know, it gives him more of a character. They gave him more of a character than that. I know that some people don't like that, particularly David Jaffe. Well, David Jaffe can also shut the fuck up because he just... But, whatever. What? I'm sorry. I do not... David, he made a really... You know, God of War 1 was really good, but Jesus Christ, I swear he needs to shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, I'm sorry. I have to say it. I really don't like some of what he has to say. Or, I know I'm probably also... Okay. What was I saying? Like like one of the things that he did that still pisses me off to this day was the Metroid Dread thing, where he couldn't figure out the simplest fucking room in the entire game. Like that to this day still pisses me off. Like God, and like he'll go out and say that other games that have worse design than that. Like he'll say that a game that has a blatantly invisible, like a wall that is so indistinguishable from any other wall, like a hidden wall that is so indistinguishable from a regular wall. Like he'll say that that's peak level design, but then go around and complain that you have to think outside the box a little bit. You got to get up to this. Oh fuck, I didn't realize there were ledges there. I cannot hope to win. Wait, I don't think Kratos kills that guy, so... I think Uriel beats him to that. One thing I do hope they change in the remakes, by the way, is putting the save points like in the right next to enemies, because I swear to God, I know I don't do it in this Let's Play. I think I did it a couple times in the God of War 1 Let's Play. That shit right there, that's what I'm talking about. That right there, that is what I'm talking about. I do not like that. They either need to move the save point away or do away with it completely, because that shit right there makes me angry. I was trying to get the chest and I ended up doing the save point anyway. Like that shit right there, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like that. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this part of God of War 2. The next time we meet in God of War 2, I believe we are actually going to have an encounter with Uriel, one of the Sisters of Fate, if I remember correctly. Or is she? Yeah, she is one of the Sisters of Fate, right? I don't fucking care. I don't fucking remember. I'm tired. Yeah, she is. No, I know she's like the sister of Medusa, so I think that's what it is. I think she's the sister of Medusa. But yeah, we're gonna have an encounter with Uriel, finish up the Bog of the Forgotten, and move on. But I'll see you guys next time for more God of War 2. And take care.